That's very convincing ToeJam Earl soundtrack, actually.
I know that's what I was going for. I thought that's an authentic vibe.
Yeah. Hello and welcome back to Bottom Up, episode 10, is it?
10.
10. Double figures.
I know.
All the naysayers, they said we'd never make the double figures, but here we are.
All the naysayers.
All the naysayers. So many naysayers, but we're here. We're proving them wrong.
Yeah.
I'm Ollie, and with me over there is Tibbs. Hello, Tibbs.
Yeah.
Yeah. How you doing, mate?
I'm alright.
Yeah?
Yeah,
Good.
I'm all right.
Warm today, wasn't it? Unseasonably warm. It was here anyway.
It was alright. I mean,
Yeah.
it wasn't, it was good.
Yeah, it was all right. So what have you been up to?
Just work. Just lots and lots of
Yeah.
work.
Oh, man.
Game-wise, I played Undertale.
Oh, yes. I saw you tweeting about this quite a lot.
Yeah. Really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I avoided it for ages. I've had it
Yeah.
on my backlog for, well, I mean, I don't know how long ago the game came out. It's been knocking about for years.
Yeah.
I played it and I loved it. I loved every minute of it. It's a really, really good game. I'm going to hold back from saying too much because I think it's a sort of game we should cover on the podcast. It's a very bottom
Yeah.
up game.
Yeah.
It's very much up our alley. So I'll hold off from saying anything more than that, other than the fact that I loved it.
Okay. Cool. I don't really know much about it, to be honest. It is an RPG, right?
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, it's not a sort of super in-depth RPG, but yeah, I guess you could call it an RPG. Yeah.
Okay.
It's kind of one of those games. It's kind of like Ghost Trick in that I don't want to say it. The less you know about it going in, the more you'll get out of it, I think.
Yeah.
So
okay, fair enough.
if you
I'm going to try and stay clear of it.
Yeah, just know that it's an RPG, and keep it as that. And the rest of it, the like I say, the less you know, the more you appreciate it, I think. There's some really nice moments in it. There's some really, really cool little set pieces and some really nice nods to sort of classic Final Fantasy games.
Okay.
But yeah, fantastic. I thoroughly recommend it. So.
Okay.
Yeah, I played that. I've been playing. I bought Yoku's Island Express.
Oh yeah, cool. Yeah, I played a demo of that. Yeah, it's pretty good, isn't it?
It's really good. It's really good. Yeah, so I got that. I got that quite cheap in. I think I only paid like £10 or £15 for that.
Okay. Is that download or is that physical?
Oh no, that's physical. Always physical. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really neat. It's kind of. I think we've discussed it briefly before. It's kind of. It's what I imagine if you crossed Sonic Spinball with Rayman Origins. It's kind of.
Yes. It does have that sort of vibe, isn't it? It's kind of a pinball platformer, isn't it?
Pinball
sort of
platformer, yeah.
Yeah.
And I struggle to think, other than Sonic Spinball, of any other game that's done that. I think they may be the only two pinball platformers out there.
I can't think of many others. Yeah,
it's a massively underrepresented
it's
genre.
not a very big genre, no.
No.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that's been taking up the most of my playtime, other than the main events of the show this time, because there's quite a back catalogue of ToeJam and Earl games to get through, and with the new one as well.
That's right. Yeah. We've got a bit of a busy show this month, haven't we? Yeah. Cool. Anything else you want to discuss?
No, I don't think so. I think that's it. I think that's it for now. What about you?
Not much, really. Not much I haven't already discussed on a previous show, actually. I've finished Shenmue. Really loved that. Really enjoyed that. That was my... in case you missed last month's episode, that was my first ever playthrough of that, and I really enjoyed it. Even though it's like a 20-year-old game, and obviously in certain areas has been surpassed by other games, I think there's something about that story and the characters that are really sort of shone through, and still sort of really good, entertaining game.
Yeah.
I think. Yeah, very good. Other than that, I really I got Horizon Chase Turbo.
Yeah.
That's that sort of outrun style kind of racing game. I had a demo of before I bought the whole thing.
Awesome.
That's really good. Yeah, really fun little arcade racer. Great for just sort of brief plays. Just really. I don't know, really, just sort of very energetic, very quick lap, and very kind of intense, but yeah, really rewarding, really nice little game. Not much else really other than that. Just trying to think. Mainly just those two really, and all the games that we've got lined up.
Are we a bit tired?
Yeah,
I just feel like
tired.
we're not as energetic as we usually are.
Yeah,
it's kind of like,
I know.
Oh, what have you been up to? Well, and what have you been up to? Well,
I know. If this is someone's first episode, I do apologise. we're not quite with it for some reason, which is a shame because we've got such an energetic sort of series of games to talk about. We're not really matching the kind of funky enthusiasm
no, we're not,
that the ToeJam and Earl series is known for.
I think it's just a case, like I say, work's been pretty intense. I think it's just kind of, it's real life getting in the way of games.
Yeah,
I don't like it.
I know. What the hell's going on with real life getting in the way of games? I mean, obviously, the latter is far more important.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I know. It's weird. It's funny you just say, "Are you tired?" Because I'm actually getting more sleep now than I have been in months lately. Funnily enough, but I'm still too tired, obviously. Yeah. Anyway, let's sort of crack on with the main event, shall we?
Before we do that,
okay.
Should we just have? I think we'd be remiss if we didn't have a quick mention of the Nintendo Direct.
Oh yeah, sure. Yeah, okay. Yeah, do that.
Anything catch your eye out of the Nintendo Direct?
Do you know what? Very little, to be honest.
Really?
Yeah. If I'm going to be brutally honest, I mean,
Mario Maker.
Mario Maker 2. Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah. And the only other one really was the new Zelda.
Yes,
one, the remake of the Game Boy one, which I've never played, but that looks pretty good. Everything in between was just kind of games that just didn't really appeal to me, to be honest. I mean, it's great if you're into them, but there's a lot of the thing about the Nintendo Directs lately is they've just been a lot of sort of kind of quite intense Japanese kind of RPG kind of games, and very sort of, I don't know, if you're into that, great, but I don't know, I find it a bit overwhelming, to be honest.
Yeah.
So there wasn't. I'm trying to remember if anything else jumped out at me. I can't. I came away thinking, okay, I like the first game, I like the very last game, and then everything in between, I just didn't quite fancy really. But that's just me,
enough.
Yeah. Did you have any different thoughts?
I'm just having a look now to see, because I mean the main one that jumped out to me was obviously Mario Maker, because I loved the Mario Maker on the Wii U.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, it's really good.
But I mean, obviously you can still play it now, but what really made the game was the Miiverse integration, where you could leave comments on certain bits of people's levels, and you could see how people had
where they died and
where
stuff.
they died and things like that. And with Miiverse shutting down, all that kind of stuff, that big element of the game has been sort of taken away. So it would be nice to see Mario Maker ported to the Nintendo Switch, where all that online capabilities can be added back in. So I think that's going to be really exciting. There's the it's not a sequel but a spin-off of Undertale called Deltarune, which was
that was there,
purely coincidental timing. I just happened to finish it just in time for that. That's coming out for free at the end of the month. Tetris 99, did you give that
I didn't. I don't have the online subscription thing for Nintendo.
Okay.
It looked quite an interesting idea though. You're just playing Tetris against 99 other people, or 100 other, or 98 other people.
It's good. Everyone seems to like it, but I find it a bit frustrating because it's kind of it's literally that. It's just you've got 99 people on the screen, and your main sort of Tetris playfield is in the middle, and you just play Tetris. But every line that you get, it will then shoot off junk blocks onto someone else's game, and every time they get a line, it will shoot junk blocks onto possibly your game. And you've got a degree of control who you would send your blocks to. So you can send your blocks to people who are attacking you, to people who've got the most knockouts, or just random people. But it's like 4 categories, but you don't really get any fine-grained control over who you target. But my problem with it is it just seems there's too much randomness to it.
I can imagine,
If you lose, it's not usually because you're playing badly, it's just because the random nature of the game has worked against you. It's really I imagine it. I was talking to someone about this, and I said it's kind of like if you imagine Gary Kasparov and another famous chess player. I don't really know chess players, but you imagine them, 2 of them there, and they're playing this chess game, and they're both doing really well, and then suddenly someone just comes along and swipes all the pieces off the board and goes, Gary wins. That's what it is. That's how it feels. It's just like you go really well, and then suddenly it's just no, he's the winner. So
I can see that.
But besides that, I mean, it's free if you've got the subscription. So I mean, there's no reason not.
It's quite
not
good,
to
isn't
try
it?
But, I think Tetris Effect spoiled me on Tetris. I think that set the bar very high now.
I'm sure it did. Your love of Tetris Effect,
Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
I think that's it though. There's probably some really obvious stuff that we've missed for the Nintendo Direct, just because I can't remember what else was announced off the top of my head. Those are the 2 things, the 2 or 3 things that really jumped out at me. But like you say, we've got a lot to pack into the show, so we should probably get cracking with it. So why don't you start us off? What's going on?
Well, basically, it was about a month ago, wasn't it? We were very kindly given a couple of Steam codes for the new ToeJam Earl game.
Yes.
Thanks to you managing to wrangle them, actually, wasn't it?
Well, I think they were just very kind. They said they wanted to support the podcast, and just
really,
reached out
really,
and
absolutely.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's really nice.
Is it is it the developers themselves? Is it a PR? Was it a PR company?
It was the developers themselves, and they put me in touch with the PR guys, and then we just sort of had a back and forth, and they sent us over the codes and some screenshots and sort of press materials and stuff we can use for album art on the podcast and stuff like that. So
that's brilliant.
It's awesome, and I really like just to clarify in case there's anything, because you hear about people being given codes online and like conditions they have to follow and things like that. There's been no they haven't said you can only have it if you give us a positive review or any of that nonsense. It was literally just, here you go, play the game, and the only thing we ask is that you don't say anything until the embargo date comes and goes. So
so that's when this podcast will come out. You'll be hearing it on the 28th of Feb. Just the day before the game is released.
Before the game comes out.
Yep.
But it's really awesome. They just said, here you go, have fun and talk about it. So here we are.
So first thing we've got to say is thank you very much, guys. That we really, really appreciate it. We've had we've had a great time with the game, and it's been really, really good opportunity for us. So thank you very much.
So we decided we were going to play through all of the games before we got to the new one, to try and sort of see how it stacks up compared to the other games in the series, and sort of where it lies in the series. Yeah,
it's been an interesting one. I must admit, I've never really played much ToeJam Earl before. So it's been an interesting thing. I started this last month. I thought I'd start with the first one, play a fair bit of that, just so I can get some of the groundwork done. Then I saw the changes from the new one. So it's been an interesting thing. I think you had a little bit more prior experience, haven't you, with the second game? Is that right?
The second game mainly, yeah. Because I played the first game. It's been on like a few compilations. And I think I played it. I don't know. I played it on and off for a while. But the first game, I think we'll probably get into it. But I mean, if you just jump into it, it can be a bit. I don't know. Well, I don't know what the word is. It's not always clear. It's not. You need to get your head around what's going on and what your objective is.
It's not initially clear what you have to do. It's kind of. Yeah, I must admit, after my first playthrough, I did have to sort of look up a bit and sort of work out what certain bits kind of meant and all the rest of it. But once you get the hang of it, it's a very interesting kind of concept and quite a nice relaxing experience to play in a way. Actually.
Exactly. Yeah.
So okay. We'll
start off with the first one then.
We'll crack on with the first one. Okay. So basically, ToeJam and Earl was developed by Johnson Vorsanger Productions, later renamed ToeJam and Earl Productions. Mm-hmm. It was published by Sega and first released in October 1991 in the US and Europe. I think I don't have an exact release date for Europe, for the Mega Drive. And these days you can pick it up for about £10 to £20, box, unbox, that kind of thing. You managed to get a copy.
I did, yeah. Month, again, it's just one of those random coincidences. A guy in work, because I tend to have got a reputation for someone who hoards old games and any old tech and stuff. So people, when they want to get rid of something or sell something, they tend to sort of drop me a line and let me know. So guy in work, Mark, said, "Oh, I'm selling some old Mega Drive games. You interested?" One of them just happened to be ToeJam and Earl. So we're like, brilliant.
That's perfect timing. Yeah,
that's really good timing. Yeah. So
that's a good reputation to have at work, by the way. That's pretty sweet deal.
Yeah. It's good. I don't know if my girlfriend's as enthusiastic about it, but I love picking up old bits and pieces and anything people want to get rid of tech-wise, like old games and stuff. I'd much rather they go into my collection than just end up on a shelf in CEX somewhere. Yeah,
absolutely, definitely. It needs to go to someone who's going to value it.
Yeah.
It was later re-released on the Wii Virtual Console, RIP, and the PSN and Xbox Live Arcade. You see that, the Wii Virtual Console, the Wii Shop going recently? Sad days.
Yeah. Especially if you spent any money on it, because now all your downloads are gone. You can't ever get them back. But I hope your Wii never breaks down.
Yeah. I know. Well, it's a matter we've dipped our toe in before, haven't we? All that, but
we don't want to beat a dead horse on that one.
No, we don't. No, we don't. So this is go back to ToeJam and Earl. This is described as a roguelike. Now, I've encountered this roguelike term for a few years now, not knowing about rogue. Mm-hmm. I've always, until now, I've struggled to really place what that actually means. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. It's kind of a dungeon crawler in a sense, isn't it? I
was going to say, I'd never played Rogue, and I'm only aware of roguelike as a term in like you say, I've heard things being described as roguelike. As far as I understand it, obviously we could cheat and look it up on Wikipedia, but as far as I understand it, it's basically procedurally generated dungeon crawling, with sort of, randomized elements of things that you can pick up.
Yeah.
Is that about right?
I think so. I think traditionally the dungeon crawlers will go down. This one goes up.
Okay.
Right. So basically the story goes that ToeJam and Earl are two aliens, and they've basically crash landed their ship on Earth, and they need to find the 10 separate pieces of the spaceship to rebuild it and go back home. And that's kind of the basic plot, really. They come from the planet Funkatron. Mm-hmm. ToeJam is a sort of a spindly kind of red 3-legged person, and Earl is sort of a large rotund chap, and they're both very funky. Would you agree?
I would say that's an accurate assessment.
Yeah.
That's basically why I said, you would be more like ToeJam, I'd be more like Earl, because
Yeah.
you're spindly.
I'm spindly. Yeah, I'm very spindly.
Quite rotund, and both funky.
Yeah, we are, but well, absolutely, we are known as the funkiest podcast around by at least one person.
Yeah.
Don't know, me probably.
Yeah.
So that's ToeJam and Earl. By the way, I hope you come dressed as Earl this evening. I've
absolutely.
Yeah, well, I've got my third leg and my big medallion thing, everything. I was considering coming dressed as a big carrot suit, actually, but
yeah.
We'll get to him in a minute.
Yes.
It's funny. I was listening to a podcast, the Retro Hour, recently, and they had the creator of this on just a couple of weeks ago.
Oh, cool.
Greg Johnson, his name is, and he's also the one behind the whole new game. Bringing it back and everything. He's very passionate, and I think on that he said that the characters actually came to him in a dream. And
really?
He kind of drew them down, and he realised that the characters that he'd drawn were the exact characters that were in his dream, and it's just a funny story, isn't it?
That's awesome.
Yeah, and they're also originally called ToeJam and World. Did you get that little?
Yeah, I heard
tidbit?
that. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was a mishearing by the programmer.
I was going to say, so he was told someone over the phone, and they misheard it, didn't they? And then they Sega liked it and just went with it.
Yeah. So it's just funny, kind of strange coincidental things that brought these two characters into being. It's odd, yeah. So yeah, he was a big fan of Rogue, and he wanted to create a game like it, basically. So it's kind of the dungeons themselves are kind of sort of floating chunks of earth, aren't they? Mostly grassy.
Yeah.
And they're procedurally generated. So there's different chunks will connect to other certain chunks, and it kind of creates a map layout that way. And you've got a series of them stacked up. And you start on one, and you need to find the elevator to go to the next one. And on certain layers, there will be a missing ship piece. And I think it tells you at the beginning, doesn't it?
It does, yeah.
In the first version, it just tells you there's a ship piece here. So basically, it's boiling down. That's the basic gameplay, really.
Yeah. On paper, it's that's it. You just wander around, pick up your ship piece, and move on to the next level. Yeah,
it almost seems too simple, really. But in that simplicity, I think there is that kind of brings out the relaxing element in a weird way, don't?
Yeah.
Do you think?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
So, but alongside that, there's this presence system, which I didn't understand at all to begin with.
No.
Did you have any difficulties understanding the presence system?
Yeah, I did. I didn't get it at all when I first played it.
No. Basically, there's presents lying around all of the levels, and they give you power-ups when you open them, or
mostly power. Well, I wouldn't even say mostly. They've got a chance of giving you a power-up.
Yeah. So you get things like, I don't know, I'm trying to think, was that spring shoes?
The spring shoes, the high tops that let you run around.
Yeah. And these are all in the aid of either getting to sort of far-reaching platforms or avoiding the humans. The humans are your main sort of enemies, wandering around, the levels, and they're a pretty zany bunch, aren't they?
They are, yeah.
They kind of reminded me of the Earthworm Jim kind of character aesthetic.
Do you know what? You're right, yeah. I was thinking, like, some of them make me think of, I can't remember the guy's name, which is, someone's going to correct me, I'm sure. But the Ren and Stimpy guy.
Yeah, I thought you were going to say that. Yeah.
Yes. Like, it's particularly the Cupids have got like like the devil. They've got a real sort of Ren and Stimpy kind of vibe to them.
They do. I never thought about that, but you're right. Yeah, now that you say that, I can definitely see that. That it's that sort of kind of surreal kind of character design, isn't it?
Yeah, and a bit like sort of grotesque in a sort of hyper detailed kind of way. Do you know? It's like they sort of. Yeah. I think if you look at the art, you'll know what I mean. But it's hard to describe.
Yeah. Yes. There's the devils. There's is the guy in the carrot suit. I remember seeing him, and in the new game, he's kind of he gives you an opportunity to level up and stuff.
Yeah.
He's like a good human, but is he an enemy in the first one? I can't remember.
I can't remember. I don't think so.
I saw him walking around very sort of pensively, and it just looked really funny. That was the first time I saw him. It's just a man in a carrot suit walking around, was wandering out. It's just, yeah, it's very bizarre. But there's him. There's like a mother with a baby in this trolley. You know, there's
the geese.
Yeah. They're sort of they're the ones that wander. There's like 5 of them just wandering around with like a cannon firing eggs, aren't they? Yeah, it's just sort of this zany bunch of humans that just want to sort of badger you. As soon as they see you, they basically start following you around, and once they touch you, then you'll lose a bit of health. And it's this permadeath thing, which is another phrase that gets linked with roguelike. Whenever you see like these indie games, they say, "Oh, it's a proper roguelike with permadeath." And until now, I was like, "What the hell is permadeath?" But I guess it means, you go through these levels and you've only got a certain number of lives, and when you lose them, that's it. That's it. You have to just start again with a new sort of procedurally generated set of levels. So yeah, this has permadeath and all the rest of it. So
you're talking about the presents.
Yes, sorry, the presents. You pick up random presents and you can open them, and they'll give you a random thing. And once you've uncovered what that is, you'll then be able to identify any more of those that you pick up that type. Yeah. So once you pick up the spring boots, you'll know when you pick up another present with spring boots, and you can open it and you know what it is. There's also one that sort of just randomizes that again, isn't there? Just kind of deletes all of that and just rearranges everything so you don't know what they are anymore.
Yeah.
But I did find they're nice extra, but they don't really get you anything that you wouldn't get without them. Did you find that they're just sort of extras? Do you know what
kind
I mean?
of, yeah.
They're kind of there
it's perfectly possible to not use them and complete the game. I think they're just nice to have in some cases.
Yeah, they would make it a bit more of a boring game if you didn't use them, though.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
It's just because I don't know how many there are, but there seem to be quite a lot, and there's even more in the new one. Yeah, just a bit more an interesting layout of the games, I suppose.
Yeah. It's kind of like when I was talking about the Tetris 99 and the randomness of it, where you can just suddenly, you can be punished even though you're not playing badly. Yeah. I think there's an element of that with some of the presents will just really hinder you for no for no reason.
At one point, I did get a pair of rocket boots, and just immediately, I didn't know what they were, and I happened to be right near an edge, and they just immediately throw you off the edge. And then when you fall off of one layer, you fall back right down to the layer beneath you.
Yeah.
And so that happened to again be near an edge, and just kept going down several floors until I finally was able to control myself.
Yeah.
So you really don't know what you're going to get when you open these presents.
Did you ever get the total bummer?
I think I did. Remind me of what it does.
Kills you.
Oh,
just dead.
I can't. I've seen that, but I don't think I got it. Maybe I read it somewhere. But yeah, yeah, that's fair enough. Oh yeah, it just kills you. Oh, okay. Great. There's another one where you get like flashing signs saying he's here, and then like all the humans like descend upon you.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, yeah, that's kind of it, really. And it sort of developed quite a bit of a cult following, really, didn't it? It was kind of it's a well-known Mega Drive game, isn't it? But I don't think it sold initially amazing.
I don't know how it did for sales, but I mean, I know. I never played it as a kid, but I was aware of it. It was talked about a lot. And
yeah, me too. Yeah,
they did. Sega put out like a set of collectible trading cards in sort of 91, 92 called Power Play, I think they were called. Okay. And there was like 120 of them to collect, and each one was, they covered like all the big franchises that Sega had at the time. And I'm pretty sure ToeJam and Earl they had their own trading card and stuff in that as well. So I mean, they were obviously considered by Sega to be like one of the big sort of characters on their roster.
I think in development they were in talks and there were certain people in Sega championing them to be the Sega mascots, and obviously that didn't pan out.
I can see that as well, because I mean they do sort of represent the very sort of, they got a very 90s feel about them, don't they?
Yeah, and Sega sort of embodied that and that sort of edginess, didn't they? And it kind of fits well with them. I mean, it's the sort of the soundtrack of the game as well. It's very kind of funky, isn't it?
It's got that. It's a really good soundtrack.
It is a really good soundtrack. Yeah, it's very
uses the Mega Drive sound chip really well.
It does. Yeah, it's very very kind of catchy, isn't it? Just all elements like that kind of really kind of added to that early kind of 90s attitude kind of thing going on that Sega, really embraced.
I think the game really excels at, one of the things it really excels at is making you like ToeJam and Earl as characters.
Yeah.
It's kind of, because there isn't much in the way of story, as we've discussed, and it's not a game that's got lots of dialogue and cutscenes or anything like that. But they're just funny characters. They're just really likable characters, and you get a feel for, they've got their own distinctive sort of personalities that just come through purely by their animation style and the way they handle, and it's that communicating their personalities in the sort of the limited way that the Mega Drive could. You get a really good idea for who the characters are, and you just come to like them.
Should we move on to the second one?
Yeah.
There was a I don't know when what point in this, there was this light gun kind of mini game, wasn't there?
The Menacer,
yeah. Was that before the sequel or after it?
I'm not sure. I don't know.
No, I don't have much about it actually to hand, but it was Ready Aim Tomatoes, was it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, someone on Twitter told us that, didn't they? Let's make sure we give credit where it's due.
Yeah.
Have I still got it on my list? Oh, I can't find who said it now.
Let me see.
I'll tell you what, we'll look for the name during the break, and then we'll
right.
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned.
And find out who it was who gave us that information.
Yeah, do. Anyway, it's I think it was a mini game that came with the Menacer light gun, wasn't it?
It was, yeah.
Yeah. So that was another sort of side thing. I didn't think to look that up actually. So sorry, we haven't really got information about that anyway. But it was a thing. But next was ToeJam and Earl in Panic on Funkatron.
Yes.
Which was which took a departure, didn't it? A genre
it did.
departure.
I think it's probably a very conscious decision they didn't call it ToeJam and Earl 2.
Yeah. Sure. Yeah. Anyway, it was released in the US in 1993 and Europe in January 94, again for the Mega Drive, and it's a little bit cheaper. It's around £10 these days. Mm-hmm. And again, it was also re-released on the Wii Virtual Console, PSN, and Xbox Live Arcade. This is a platformer, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think there was pressures from Sega that I think they were concerned that a lot of people didn't get the original, and they wanted to stick to something a little more conventional for the early 90s. So a platformer was the natural choice for that, I suppose.
Yeah, I suppose I can see where they were coming from. I can see both sides of it, really. From the business standpoint, yeah, I can see it both ways. I think it's considered sort of the black sheep of the franchise, really, isn't it? It seems to be quite divisive amongst fans whether it was a good direction for the series or not. But I enjoyed it. I thought it was good.
I quite liked it as well. Yeah, it's I think it's been thought of that if you played this game first, you tend to, or certainly in your childhood, you tend to favour this one over the original. It depends which one you played first, I think, a lot of cases.
Yeah.
But, I mean, you can see how they didn't want to just make a standard, linear platformer. It's there's still an element of kind of searching and exploration in this.
Yeah,
you
definitely.
say? Yeah. Basically, the story goes on their way back from Earth to Funkatron. They picked up some stowaway Earthlings in their ship, and the Earthlings are now running amok on their home planet, and it's up to ToeJam and Earl to capture them in jars, as you would any stowaway. So they're sort of lurking around these kind of 2D levels, and sometimes you have to sort of shake sort of trees and other decor to reveal them, and just sort of throw jars at them until they get captured, basically.
Yes.
And that's kind of the meat of it, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
So did you have this? Did you have this as a kid? Sorry.
I didn't have it as a kid. No, I played it years later, like again on like a compilation or probably on an emulator or something like that years after the fact. But
Okay.
I think that was the one that I played the most of, because again, I can see why Sega did what sort of suggested it, because everyone's familiar with platformers.
Yeah.
And I think picking up this one, it's just easier to get into this one than it was the first one. So I think this is the one I ended up spending the most time playing. But
Yeah.
I can see how they've tried to translate the ToeJam and Earl gameplay into a 2D side scroller. Like you say, you've still got the elements of searching, and you still got to collect the presents, and it's still got that. It is kind of as close to the original ToeJam and Earl as you can get in a side-scrolling format, I think.
Yeah, I think so. It turns it on its head a bit when you're looking for things rather than trying to avoid them. But there's like a little meter, isn't there, that kind of directs you where they are.
Yeah.
You can always kind of go back to previous points in the level in case you missed them. So it's got that kind of open-ended kind of structure to it, and then it tells, once you've got all of them, it'll tell you, okay, you've got all the Earthlings, you need to head to the exit, and then you just jump to the next level. Basically, I played a couple of levels that seemed to be the kind of the basic structure of the game.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah.
But yeah, there was something quite satisfying about it. Again, it's a little bit different. Some of the mechanics were a little bit weird, like the jumping felt a little bit weird. You seemed to jump really, really high, quite slowly. It was quite floaty. And you couldn't really move yourself very, very easily while in the air. Did you find that?
I did, but that's just the gravity on Funkatron.
Oh yeah, fair enough. Yeah, it does. Yeah, you got to adjust. You've got to adjust to the. Yeah, it's too funky for Earth gravity. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah. Fair point. Yeah, but
you can find hidden gateways to the hyperfunk zone.
Oh yeah, the hyperfunk zone. Yeah, it's like a little sort of endless runner before endless runners were a thing, wasn't it?
Yeah.
The hyperfunk zone. You kind of have to go along these kind of twisting. They're almost kind of what do you call those musical bar things? Do you know what I mean?
I know what you mean.
When you read music and you see the notes, they're the bars.
Notation.
That the notes sit on. Yeah, but you got to go through this on a sort of winding path that's made up of them, and you kind of
quavers. Are they quavers, or is that?
I think the quavers is the thing. That's a crisp. Yeah, I think the quaver. No, hang on. Is it? That's like one of the things that starts it, isn't it? Like the little.
Is it?
Anyway,
Or a clef, or a.
These are all words that are related to it, but I don't know if they're the right words. Anyway. There's like teleports that take you back to the level, isn't there? And you have to avoid them, but then you pick up. I don't know what do you pick up in.
I think you just pick up presents, don't you?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
I'm crap at it, so I never got. I don't think I.
No, I never got very far with it either. Yeah, it does reappear in the new game, doesn't it? Yeah. I can't think of anything else to say about this game. Kind of divisive. If you were a big fan of the first one, it'd be. I can see it'd be a bit like what the hell is this kind of thing. But yeah, as you say, we can see both sides of it. You know why they. Why they. I think they had their arm twisted by Sega. To be fair.
Yeah.
The powers that be. I think from what I've heard, Greg Johnson really wanted to do a proper sequel, but he's forced into it. Much the same case with the third one, which we'll talk about as well.
Yo, they call me Earl, and I don't say that much, so I'm just cruising in the funky flow, you know. Everybody round, yo, they moving at high speed. I'm chilling it down, you know, moving at my speed. Everybody tripping, getting up in your face. Gotta stay cool, gotta take it at your own pace.
The third one is it's quite a gap. We're moving straight to the Xbox original now for the third one.
Yes.
Jump to 3D. So that was released in the US in October 2002 and in Europe in March 2003.
Well, we say jump straight to the Xbox, but it was in development for the Dreamcast originally.
It was, yes. Yeah, I think I heard Nintendo 64 at some point as well.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that was mentioned at some point. I think it was a bit of a... it was the kind of thing that was kind of meaning to come out for quite a while now and kind of worked on. And originally it was going to be a kind of a 3D reimagining of the original game. And I think there is a Dreamcast. I didn't get around to looking at it, actually. I meant to. But there is a Dreamcast kind of incomplete version kicking about that you can play.
Yeah.
That's...
I haven't played it. I intended to for this show, but I didn't get around to it. But yeah, it is out there in the usual places if you want to track it down.
Yeah, and that's supposed to be, you know, similar to the final version, but a lot more like the original, from what I hear. But I think basically in this one, again, I think they were starting out with this kind of 3D version of the original, but they were pushed and pulled by kind of the powers that be. I think Sega were publishing this as well, and they were kind of pushed and pulled into making it more in keeping with the games of the time, really kind of adding things like bosses and missions and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
To kind of, you know, set more of a kind of a structure to it, I suppose. I must admit, I didn't get around to playing this.
I played it, but I didn't put much time into it. It didn't click with me. It's good. It's not a bad game by any stretch of the imagination, but I don't know. It just didn't click with me. It's as simple as that. It's one of those games where, you know, it's a perfectly competent game. You know, the art style and music and everything seems to be right, but it just didn't do anything for me.
Yeah, I think. Well, I saw a fair bit of it on YouTube. It's kind of, I can see where the sort of the original idea ends and these new ideas begin, really, because you kind of land on Earth and you pick up several different missions from these sort of gospel singing cave dwellers.
Yes.
For some reason. And they tell you you need to funkify all the humans, or you need to find all these keys, or you need to, you know, do this and that, and then find the, you know, the elevator, and it just gives you lots of sort of mission and lots of kind of busy work to do in the levels rather than, you know, finding shit. I think they need to find the legendary albums of funk or something like that.
Yeah.
In this game. Yeah.
For Lamont the Funkopotamus.
That's right. Yeah. Naturally. And it introduces a new character, doesn't it? Letitia.
Yes.
Yeah. And there's quite a bit of I don't know, risque content, would you say? Especially if you consider it kind of a kids game. Yeah,
I suppose. I never really thought of it as I guess I never thought of it as a kids game.
Well, maybe not, but it's got that kind of an aesthetic that kids, you know, quite colourful.
Yeah.
You know, and basically, I saw the opening sequence, and it involves them with ToeJam's got a video camera, and they've all fully voiced this time.
I was gonna say there's a lot more attempt to, you know, give the characters voices and more sort of cutscenes and interactions, and, you know, it's certainly taken advantage of the, you know, the capabilities of the console.
Yeah, and they've got it's very much entrenched in kind of the sort of rap hip hop kind of universe, of which I know nothing, frankly.
Yeah.
But that's the impression it gave to me anyway. And at one point, ToeJam's got this camera, and it's kind of the front the first few cutscenes is taken from the viewpoint of this camera, and they're sort of walking along, and he actually zooms in on her rear end.
I'd forgotten that. You're absolutely right. I wonder where you were going then. I was thinking risque content. I don't remember.
Risque is probably not the right word, but kind of, a bit pushing it a bit. I think in America it had a teen rating, and I think that's what I would call it, kind of teen kind of content rather than anything younger than that. Really, just kind of, implying things like that, but not actually any offensive content or anything really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd completely forgotten about that.
I think because you've got in the sort of the first few levels, you've got loads of like little cheerleader girls hanging around, don't you? And you kind of have to funkify them, and they say various things. At one point, I'm sure one of them says, "My dad says he can kick Earl's ass" or something like that. So it's kind of stuff like that, stuff that's kind of pushing it just as far as they can. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. But ultimately, I don't think the game did particularly well with critics and fans. Generally, I mean, they did okay. I think it's getting scores like 6 out of 10, that kind of thing.
I was going to say sort of 6 and 7s across the board. I think generally, but
I think the general consensus was that it sort of missed its mark a bit. Maybe I think going back to the Retro Hour podcast I heard recently, I think he said it just it didn't find its audience on the Xbox. I think the Xbox at the time was considered quite a sort of a hardcore kind of, people who are really into their games kind of thing, more of a mature audience maybe that didn't quite get it, didn't
kind of. I mean, when you look at the library of the original Xbox as a whole, there aren't many games like that. There aren't many games like ToeJam and Earl, sort of bright, colourful games. I think it was that era when games started to be sort of beige and brown and grey shooters,
Yes, yeah.
I'm not saying everything's like that. The Xbox has got plenty of it, plenty of sort of quirky games as well. But I mean, many. It was beige shooters that were getting the sales at the time.
Yeah, not many exclusives. I think I had a few that were also on the GameCube and PS2, but I think Blink's the Time Sweeper may have been another one.
That's what I was thinking. Blink's the Time Sweeper.
Yeah, but there's not many other original, exclusive ones on the original Xbox like that. I think.
No.
Yeah, I mean, I had the console, and I didn't see this at the time actually, but those are the kind of games that I was still interested in. But this one kind of passed me by. I think wasn't really aware of it at the time. But yeah, that's all I kind of have on it really. It's a bit of an oddity, I suppose.
It's my least favourite of the series.
Yeah, I think that'd be fair to say.
It's the even going back and revisiting it for the show, it's the one I spent the least time with.
Yeah.
But like I said, I mean, I can't say there's anything particularly bad about it. The gameplay is fine. The voice work and stuff is pretty good for the time. The graphics are fine. Everything is fine. It's just I don't know. It just was missing. It's just missing that spark that made that that makes you want to keep playing it. I think. That's just for me personally. But it's not a bad game by any stretch of the imagination. It just didn't float my boat.
Yeah. Do you think it would have done any better if it had stuck to if they had stuck to their guns and just sort of made, the game that they wanted to make at the time? Do you think that would have made a difference then? Or was Sega right in that no one would have bought it at that time? It's hard to know, really, isn't it?
It's hard to know. I mean, I think now is the right time for it to be coming out, because I think there is, there's people of our age who, remember games like that, or remember these, they've got enough nostalgia for these old franchises. I'm not saying that these things sell on nostalgia alone, but I think, there is a demand for, there is a sort of swinging demand back to more sort of indie, less sort of Hollywood-style games, just more quirky little titles. And I think there is a market for that now, where there probably wasn't as much of a market for that back then. So, I think, I don't know, like you say, it's impossible to really say. I think they might have struggled if they'd have released, another one in the format of the first game around that time. I don't know. It might have struggled to find an audience even more. But I mean, these things are hard to predict, aren't they?
I mean, the good thing about now compared to then is that, gaming is so sort of wide and diverse that no matter how kind of obscure or unfashionable your game may be, as long as you're not sort of you're overspending on it for the audience you can achieve, then there's always an audience there. Do you know what I mean? Whatever the game is, there's an audience for it. And as long as your kind of budget matches that and you're not overspending compared to the people who will buy it, you're going to make a success.
There's so many ways to, back then you were tied to a publisher, basically. You had to get a big publisher on board and you had to buy dev kits from there's all these barriers of entry, but now we've got crowdfunding, which the new game was partially crowdfunded.
Yes.
You've got things like Steam. The Nintendo eShop seems to be a really popular place for indie developers. There's so many ways to get your game off the ground and get it out to people, and it's just a completely different ecosystem than it was back then. So I think
it is.
There's games that will flourish now that just wouldn't have had a chance back in the day. Yeah,
exactly. Previously, it was just there was too much money had to be spent, so your game had to be kind of big and it had to be successful. Whereas now that's not the case. You can have a success with a small scale success and come away with a good game that people love, and you can really make something of it rather than making something that's seen as a failure.
Yeah.
So I mean, okay, so that's kind of the 3 games up till now, and another big long gap, and now we're here in 2019 with ToeJam and Earl back in the groove.
Back in the groove. Anyway, shall we take a short break before we discuss... Get back in the groove?
Before we get back in the groove, indeed.
There you go. That's why
That's why they chose us.
Professional.
You know what I mean? Professionalism.
Can they take a steam key away? Because I think they probably will after they've heard that. Revoked.
Yeah, don't let them hear it. Yeah. All right, we'll be back in a sec.
Let's take a break then. And then, we'll be back.
Yo, Earl, take the wheel. I'm gonna go in the back and grab a drink. Hey, Luanda, you want something?
ToeJam, I think Letitia might be thirsty too.
Oh, I'll get you something too, Letitia.
Thanks a lot. Why are we going back to Earth anyway?
ToeJam said he wanted to impress Luanda.
Wait, what? I didn't say that.
So that's why we kind of borrowed Lamont's ship.
Wait, what? You took Lamont's ship without asking him?
Look! Isn't that Earth right there? Wow, it's so big and so quiet.
Earl, crank up the megawatt speakers and let's lay some funk on these Earthlings.
Alright.
Let's punch the bass, Earl. Fire up the auxiliary mega subwoofer.
Okay,
That's the red button.
Yeah, but,
Just press it.
Okay.
Earl, wait! No!
What's happening?
Welcome back in the groove.
That's even worse than the outro.
Oh, come on. We're professionals here.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, so Back in the Groove, developed by Human Nature Studios, directed by Greg Johnson, and physical versions are being published by Limited Run Games.
Yes.
That's right. I see you've put an order in already.
Yes, absolutely. It probably spoils our verdict on the game, but
yeah, a little bit. Yeah,
I loved it.
I did.
So
it's really, really good. Yeah,
and any physical version. I would have gone for the collector's edition, but I just didn't. I just couldn't stretch to it. But I definitely got put in a pre-order for the Switch version, because I think it's a game that really, it just feels a really good fit for the Switch.
It does, yes. It's with the Switch, I'm focusing a lot more on sort of smaller scale games personally, like the little indies. I'm building up a little bit, not a collection really, but a little bit of a focus on indie games rather than the bigger ones on the Switch, because it kind of works on that console, really, doesn't it?
Yeah, definitely. But so I pre-ordered the physical version. I think there's still time to do it as well. So
I think it's still open. Yeah, I haven't done so yet.
The show, go do it.
Seeing if I can fit it in the budget. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's also releasing on Steam, Switch, PS4, and Xbox One on the 1st of March. So if you're hearing this podcast today, it comes out. It's coming out tomorrow.
Yeah. And the Steam version is on all platforms as well.
That's right. Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
Really, I love it when games support Linux. So and the Linux version seems to work fine. So
brilliant.
Love it.
Yeah, excellent. And yeah, so after 2 sort of botched attempts at making the sequel that he wanted to make, Greg Johnson finally gets to make the true return to the original game that he's always wanted, I think, in this. It's basically like the first game that we described, only with tons more stuff in it. Would you say?
Yeah, it's the essence of the first game, but in a really refined way. It's just tightened everything up a bit and taken advantage of the modern consoles and platforms to really bump up the graphics and sound, and it's just everything. It's how I imagine if the first game was made today, if this was the first entry in the series, it's it's how it would be.
Exactly, yeah, it is, yeah. It's 2D kind of animation on a kind of a 3D... Well, it's kind of at a 3D angle, isn't it, in terms of, further away characters are smaller.
Yeah.
On kind of a 3D kind of looking terrain, I suppose. Very similar looking to the original, very sort of grassy. You can actually see the layers underneath.
I love that.
It's really cool. There's
really
a smaller, a scaled back version of the underneath layer. Even with moving characters in it and stuff. So if you fall, you can see where you're going to land.
Yeah.
Really, really nice touch. It's got online co-op as well, which we didn't get around to trying. Sadly,
get around to trying that.
It's just that's the other
to get the because we don't live in we record this over Skype. We don't live in even the same part of the country, so getting our schedules and our free time to match up was proved a bit difficult.
Yeah, I can't confirm if it was actually even possible in this trial version, because I did occasionally check to see if anyone else was online playing it, but every time I booted it up and I couldn't see anyone, so I don't know if that's because
I had the same thing. Every time I opened it up to see if there was other players online, there was never anyone online. So I don't know if that part of the game is functional yet.
Yeah, possibly not, but I'm sure it will be by launch. But we sort of haven't touched on this, but co-op is a big part of the original game as well. Big sort of it was a big thing that they wanted to put in the original and managed to do it in this kind of split screen. I think you can kind of play 2 different layers at once and sort of find the ship bits kind of separately, can't you? Yeah, I think there's a big aspect of this game as well. I think you can kind of send each other presents.
Yeah.
Including like negative result presents. So you can, if you want to be a complete, complete annoying person, you can send someone a present that sets them on fire or whatever. I think that's a great idea. That kind of cooperative play. I think that's it kind of lets you play how you want. It's really good. Got a nice little animated intro. Basically, all the gang have returned to Earth, and Earl accidentally presses the black hole generator button, which all ships have, and manages to suck Earth and the ship in this black hole. And they, I think, basically have to do the whole thing again, really, just to find the ship parts and escape. So yeah, light on story, heavy on laughs, and guys, if you're looking for advertising slogans,
like I say, there's a tagline:
light on story, heavy on laughs.
Heavy on laughs.
But it's a very, very colourful, very entertaining game, full of these zany characters. Once again, sort of a lot of returning guys from the first game, a lot of new ones.
Let me ask you about one element of it in particular. Now, I don't know. I just played it on default settings. I just picked it up and start new game and just went for it.
Yeah.
So I don't know if there's an option to change this, if there's like an easy mode or something that would change this feature. But you mentioned in the first game, there's 25 levels that you have to work your way through, with ship pieces hidden on each level. In the first one, when you reach a level, it will give you a little notification saying there's a ship piece on this level or there's not a ship piece. So which levels are you need to explore more fully to try and find the ship piece.
Yeah.
That doesn't seem to happen on the new one. There's no notification at all, so you've got no
there
idea.
There is a little icon at the top next to the level
there?
name. There's a ship icon, and that tells you whether or not there's a ship piece there.
I completely missed that.
Yeah.
Does it tell you? Does it tell you that at all, or did you just figure that out?
It tells you in the tutorial mode. There's a little tutorial mode. It takes about half hour. It's kind of a condensed version of the game, and they're sort of generally smaller levels, and you've got lots of sort of hints telling you how to play the game, but all these different features. And I would recommend playing that, especially for brand new players, just to see, but certainly all this new stuff that they've added, all the new, how to play it. And at one point, it definitely tells you about look for the icon next to the level name, and it'll tell you there's a ship piece there. So
see, I missed that.
Yeah, I can see that must be really frustrating then, because you were probably searching every level.
Well, no, but see that was because my point was I thought that was quite an interesting choice, because if you know for definite there's no ship piece there, I think you're more inclined to just rush through and find the elevator and move on to the next bit.
Yeah.
Whereas I was thinking it was more of a move to try and encourage people to explore the levels a bit more. But
yeah.
Clearly, it's just not me not paying attention. So ignore it. Carry on.
Carry on. Yeah, well, that's there. That's there if you want it. You can ignore it, though, if you want an extra challenge. You just not look at it. Just never look at the top.
Apparently, that's what I did.
Yeah, apparently. I didn't see it in the options anyway to turn on or off that notification. So, yeah. But, as you say, it's 25 levels. I did complete it just last night, actually.
Good.
Yeah. I mean, when each time you complete it, you can unlock a new character as well. There's extra. Well, originally you start with new ToeJam, new Earl, and old school ToeJam and old school Earl, don't you? You can also unlock like Letitia and another new female character whose name escapes me. But there's also like Earl's mum and like I think ToeJam's cousin and stuff like that. Yeah, so that's pretty good. I mean, it gives you an incentive to kind of play it again. You get the random generated levels as well. You can also play fixed levels as well, so I think it kind of lays it out for you.
Did you encounter the permadeath thing?
Yeah, I did die on one playthrough, I think.
Did you notice it deletes your game save?
Yes, it does, yeah.
I didn't know that.
It's a bold move these days, isn't it?
Yeah.
But it is kind of the whole spirit of the roguelike, I think. And even now, as I said earlier, you get games advertising, new indie games call themselves roguelikes, advertising permadeath. So I think it's still very much a thing in that kind of realm. I guess if you're not used to those kind of games, it is kind of annoying. Because the other genres, it's not really the done thing these days to kind of delete your game and make you start again.
I didn't expect it. It was a surprise, but it wasn't an annoying surprise. It was more like a grin, like okay, yeah, well done.
Yeah, I mean, a single playthrough of the game isn't going to take you hours and hours. It'll probably take you an hour to an hour and a half, maybe something like that. Yeah. 2 hours possibly. So if that happens to you, it's not going to be the end of the world. I think it happened to me I got about 6 ship pieces, I think. I think it's just one of those things, isn't it? It's a part of the game, really. It wouldn't be the same without it, I think. I'm just trying to think of anything else. I'm sure there's lots more to say. They have a lot more. They include a lot of ideas from the other games, really, don't they? They've got the what's the name of it? The Funk Zone, the endless running thing.
Oh, the Hyperfunk Zone.
The Hyperfunk Zone, that's the one. It's got that in it. It's got the beat matching kind of rhythm game.
Yeah, the beat matching mini game.
Yeah, I'm terrible at rhythm games. Know this if you ever happen to pick a rhythm game for a book club. I'm god awful at rhythm games. I just can't. I have no rhythm whatsoever. I just can't do them.
I think it trips you up because the first time I did it, because either there's a couple of ways that the beat matching games will work. Either you'll give you one to copy, or it'll ask you to set one.
Yeah, interesting idea, that one.
Yeah, and the first time I did it, because you get the more complicated the beat you set, the higher the score.
Yeah.
so I did like a super complicated one, but then it asks you to do it back again.
Yes.
And it really tripped me up the first time. I was like, oh no, but yeah, it's a really neat idea.
Yeah. I couldn't like match the bars or anything. They were just coming in at really random points, and then I just found it impossible to do it again afterwards. Yeah. Anyway, I'm going to. I took a couple of videos. I think I did one of the tutorial mode and sort of about half of randomly generated world, so you can see my terrible efforts when I upload them to YouTube later.
Awesome.
Yeah. So all the presents, loads of new presents. I think. Yeah. Any favourites spring to mind, the present wise?
No.
No favourites.
No. I don't tend to get the good presents. That's the trouble.
No,
I just have bad luck. I always get the bad presents.
That's right. Yeah, but you get some quite cool ones. You get turn invisible briefly. You can run quicker. You can get an inner tube for floating on the water. By the way, in either this one or the first one, how long did it take you to realise that you can actually swim in the water?
Oh, well, I realised that quite quickly.
Oh, did you? It took me, I was mainly in the first one. I think I was avoiding the water for the longest time, and I kind of got to a point where I couldn't get to like an island in the middle. And I thought, how are you supposed to do that? And I accidentally just fell in the water. Oh, you can swim in the water.
Only for a brief period, though. You don't get long.
You get however much health you've got. It starts draining.
Yeah.
And then when you get back to land, you get back to where you were health-wise. But yeah, it's and there's sharks swimming in a lot of the pools of water as well, so you got to be careful. Some of the enemies, the yodeling naked man in the box, that was a bit of a highlight. The ice cream van. Did you see the ice cream van?
Yes.
That is a We're a family-friendly podcast, so I can't use some of the words I want to describe this ice cream van. But he takes out like so much of your health if you just hit him. And that's the these enemies are quite quick. The whole game runs at a much quicker pace than the original.
Yeah,
it's one of the first things you'll probably notice if you've played the original. You can move a lot quicker, and you can level up as well. You'll get a lot of XP with whatever you do. You get these XP points, and then when you reach to a certain level, you can go to and see the Carrot Man, and he'll give you a level up basically.
Yeah.
And you can increase things like your speed and your health bar and stuff like that. So there's that added element as well. Sometimes I found myself looking for the Carrot Man as well.
You don't get to choose what you upgrade though, do you? It's sort of
no.
It's sort of randomised like the rest of the game. Really, it will randomise. Is it 3 things it will improve, and you might get higher speed or more energy or
yes, I think I can't remember.
You can't assign the points where you want them to go.
That's right. There is a random element to it. Yeah. Yeah, there's all sorts of sort of bushes and houses to shake to reveal, things like money and powder presents and stuff. I really liked the shaking the houses thing, because you hear whenever you do it, you hear these voices saying, "Oh, leave us alone!" Like this alien terrorizing all the humans living in their houses. It's quite a fun idea.
Yeah.
I think that comes from the second one, really, doesn't it? Because you can shake things to reveal the humans in that. So there's all sorts of these ideas that come from the other games as well, which is quite nice. A kind of a little nod to those games as well.
One of the most irritating characters, I wouldn't necessarily, it's not an enemy per se, but with the hula girls.
Oh yes, yeah. These have come from the original as well, aren't they? If there's a hula dancer, and if you go anywhere near her, you basically freeze and do this hula dance for a couple of seconds, and then you can't move very far before you do it again. It takes you ages to get away from it.
Ages to get away.
Yeah, and then if there's any other more aggressive enemies around, then that's it basically. The enemies in general will come for you, and they come at a pretty quick pace, and particularly early on, until you level up enough, you can't really escape them. They're right on your tail quite a lot, and it's very difficult to shake them. And then they'll hit you. They'll usually just hit you once, and then sort of wander away, won't they?
Yeah.
When they've got like several following you, it can get a bit stressful.
That's the thing. You can get swamped quite easily, especially as the stages get more difficult and the higher up you go.
Yeah, definitely. They're everywhere. They are everywhere, and it's very difficult to avoid them sometimes. There is like a little sneak button. If you hold down one of the buttons, you can sneak carefully, but I don't know how well that hides you, to be honest.
I think I have a tendency to get very frustrated with games sometimes, especially if I feel like the game's being unfair. Or
Yeah, me too,
again, I'm coming back to Tetris, but what I found frustrating about Tetris 99 was the fact that I felt if I lost, it wasn't because I was doing something wrong or I wasn't playing the game well. It's just because it was randomly decided that I was going to lose. And if there's that kind of element of, if it feels unfair, I tend to get quite frustrated with the game, and I'll quite often turn off a game if it gets to that point.
Yeah.
But I think
sure,
there's something about ToeJam Earl where I didn't get that, even though there is that element of randomness. And, there's some really cruel twists of fate sometimes, and you'll get, knocked down a few levels, and the whole permadeath thing. Even when I got the permadeath and I realised it had deleted my game save, I just found it funny. I didn't really find it irritating. It's just got that a real sort of charm about it.
There is a charm to the game. It's very difficult to explain why, but it's very difficult to hate this game.
Yeah,
it's just so funny, just so charming.
And it's such a cliche, but it has got that one more go kind of factor, hasn't it? Where you'll get so far, you'll get knocked back, and you think, I'll just have another go. I'll just have another quick go.
Just one more level.
Just one more level.
It definitely does. Yeah, and as we said earlier, it's still got that very simple kind of concept. All you're doing is going from level to level, trying to find the ship pieces, and then trying to find the elevator. But there's just something about it that's very engrossing, and you just want to sort of explore and see what you can find, and kind of play with everything, shake every bush. Kind of. It's just a game that's it's constantly trying to pull you in every different direction and keeps you interested, really, doesn't it? Yeah.
And it does reward exploration of the levels. I think if you rush through, you're not really letting yourself enjoy the game the way it should be. I think you do need to explore and try and unveil those, because I found myself a few times, even when I'd got the ship piece and the elevator, there were still parts of the map, because you get like a little mini map and it sort of unveils as you go, and I'd still be exploring the map just because I wanted to see what was there and what sort of crazy characters were knocking about up there.
Especially as it's randomly generated, because you always want to. It's quite intriguing to see how it's kind of laid out the map, and sometimes it has very interesting kind of patterns and these sort of long, thin stretches that almost seem like they've been designed in the way they're laid out. You know what I mean? Like it's there's something very intriguing about the whole game, really.
Yeah.
So I mean, I think it goes without saying that we'd recommend this.
Oh, absolutely.
What's the price point on this? Do you know?
I think it's going to be $20, $20. I don't know though. We'd have to check and see. But I think it's going to be going around sort of the $20 price point.
Yeah. Yes. What was the physical one? It was about $30 or something, wasn't it?
I can't remember now, because it came to about £50 for me, but I think that's because it's international shipping and import taxes and VAT and all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
But it wasn't. The game itself was not expensive.
No, so I think it's we haven't got the price to hand, but I think it's a fairly reasonable price point.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, for the let's assume it's going to be $25 just for the sake of argument. It's well worth it at that price.
Yeah.
You're going to get way more than that enjoyment out of it.
Yeah, there's a fair bit of replay value, I think, with all the different randomly generated levels and the unlockable characters, and I have a feeling there's quite a few unlockable extras and things like that as well. I think I get the feeling they've jam-packed a lot of kind of secrets and things in there.
And especially with, like you say, we didn't get a chance to play it, but I can imagine with the co-op mode, that game's just going to be bags of fun if you had two people playing it together, and especially, firing presents at each other and stuff.
Absolutely, yeah.
It's got the ability to end friendships, I think, but
I think so. It's probably best that we didn't play it, to be honest, together.
But no, I really enjoyed it. I went into it not really knowing what to expect, and I came away really liking it. And,
excellent.
If we didn't like it, we'd tell you, but it's great. I loved it.
Yeah,
and
me too.
I no hesitation in ordering it. the physical version. I know I can. It's going to be. I can see why they go in with. It's Limited Run who were publishing it, I think, aren't they?
Yeah.
I can see why they're going with Limited Run rather than trying to get a big publisher on board to just put it out there. Main on main sale for everyone. But I think it's worth supporting getting the physical one because we like physical games, and I think it's well worth it, and especially with the amount of effort that's been put into the physical release as well. If you look at the collector's edition, they've really tried to match the theme of the game with the collector's edition. They've even got like blind bags for the human characters.
Oh really?
So,
that's amazing.
So that
that's awesome.
It's randomized just like the game.
That's really cool.
Yeah, it's really quite neat. So yeah, I just love supporting stuff like that. So it's a big recommendation from me.
Yeah, absolutely. We had a few comments on Twitter about the series in general.
Yeah.
Because we put that out. I'm going to read out a few. So this one's more a response to my message actually, but at JawGoGoArt, who I think has a YouTube, we'll explain it in a minute. I would love to watch your podcast when it comes. I actually cover the series on my channel if you're interested, and I do plan on covering Back in the Groove. Yeah, so go and check him out. His name is at JawGoGoArt. I did have a look at his ToeJam Earl 3 video. Actually, it's pretty good. Yeah, go and give him some love.
Have we got a link to his YouTube?
I don't to hand, but I think that his name was the YouTube channel. So just look, JawGoGoArt, you'll find him. In my short opinion, despite not having a strong history, this series is made with passion, and there's nothing like it. Yeah, totally agree with that. So at Keith White Jr. Keith White Jr. He's at Keith with an F White Jr. And this was the gentleman who we were talking about with the Menacer minigame earlier on. The first memory that comes to mind is buying a Sega Menacer on clearance from Toys R Us. Interestingly, he's done at Toys R Us there. I'm not sure who's picking that up now. And the feeling of shock and delight to see Ready Aim Tomatoes on the 6-game cart. It was literally months before I even tried any of the other games. That's pretty cool, isn't it?
Yeah, it's awesome.
It was on just on a side note, that was on a 6-game cartridge. I'm not sure what else with, but
the one that makes me I do remember I wanted to mention this was one of the first actual interactions I had with ToeJam Earl was when I was a kid. I had I borrowed a copy of Art Alive, which was like Sega's equivalent of Mario Paint.
Yes, I did read that they were in that as well.
They were in that as little stamps that you could sort of put down in the backgrounds and things. So I think that was the first time I actually saw them in the flesh on the Mega Drive in the flesh. In the flesh of sorts, yeah.
Edward Torres at MurderStorm117. I've always loved ToeJam Earl and always hoped a new game would release. Now we're only 6 days from launch. That's right. I told him to hang on in there. It's coming soon. And then someone who calls himself Loser on the Internet, I'm sure that's not true, at BigMac0508. ToeJam Earl is the game I played most with my father. When I heard it was getting a sequel, my dad instantly pre-ordered it.
That's
top
awesome.
Dad. Yeah, top dad. Well done. Very good. Yeah. So it's that shows you the sort of co-op nature, I suppose, doesn't it?
Yeah.
The fact that this guy and his dad was that into the game together. That's lovely.
Yeah, really I love that. Even if it was any other game, I just love the fact that dad and son or dad and daughter playing together, and
it's brilliant. Yeah,
it's awesome. I love that.
Yeah,
that
I do too.
Aspect of gaming is great.
Yeah, it's lovely. It brings people together. Games.
Yeah,
really does. So yeah, that's kind of it really on our ToeJam Earl special. It's been really cool because this is a series that I haven't really played before, so it's really interesting to get it all in one go, almost all in one go. It's a really cool game. Definitely,
it is.
It's one I'll be playing again, I think.
Oh, definitely.
I both the first version and the new one. I think the new one exceeds the original. Definitely, I think it's got everything the original had, but tons more. Fantastic games.
Yeah, and I think it's clear from the original games and the new ideas that have been put into the new game, it's clear that they've still got bags of ideas for ToeJam and Earl, and it's clear that, you know, they've still got the passion for it and they're still excited about making these games.
Yeah.
I really hope it kind of, you know, I hope it's not the last we see of ToeJam and Earl. I mean, it's obviously, the game isn't even out yet, so it's too early to be talking about a sequel and stuff, but I hope it gives enough momentum back to the series that, you know, we see them again. I don't want this to be, you know, the last we see of ToeJam and Earl. I think it's got potential to carry on, and they're just really likable characters, so
very much, yeah.
I hope it you know, long may it continue.
Yeah, second that, absolutely. Cool.
Excellent.
Okay. Right. Shall we move on? Not much more to say, but we do have to discuss what's happening next episode.
Yes, we do. So the next episode, it was going to be your pick for the book club pick, but there's been a bit of a change of plan. We're going to be having a guest on the next show.
Yeah. Really excited about this.
Yeah,
really,
it's
really excited. Yeah,
really exciting time. So we're going to be having one of the guys from Retro Electro Models, who we've spoken about. Let me just get the message open that I've been talking to the guy about, because he's going to be picking the game that we're going to play. And it's a game that's completely out of my comfort zone. So let me just get up the details here, and I will tell you.
Yeah, well, yeah, he's gonna while you're doing that, he's going to be picking the book club pick. He's going to be on. We're going to play it all together. We're going to discuss it. We're also going to ask him a few questions about the Retro Electro models as well. You know, how he came up with the idea and all sorts of things like that. So it's going to be a little bit of a mix of interview and our regular sort of book club thing. So it's going to be really exciting, I think.
Cool. So it's going to be Vic. Is the guy's name. We've been chatting back and forth on Twitter. He seems like a really cool guy, so I'm really looking forward to having him on the show. Yeah. We asked him to pick a game. We said basically whatever you want, a game that's means something to you, or a game that you think is needs more attention, or, you know, the usual things. Just a game that you think is particularly interesting. We'll all play it and discuss it. So he's picked a game on the Mega Drive. He's picked a game called Herzog's Y.
It's funny. I thought he might. That's the only thing I could think of that he might have picked that I knew of.
Really?
Yeah, I have heard of it. I don't really know much about it, but it's kind of a shooter, but there's like other elements to it, isn't there?
It's kind of like a real-time strategy game.
Right.
He says, well, actually, because I said I've not played many real-time strategy games.
No, I haven't.
He says, do yourselves a favour and watch this video tutorial, which he's kindly provided for us. It's not long, and it's much easier than trying to figure it out or reading the manual.
Okay. I was going to say, did the original game come with that YouTube video?
No, it didn't. He says, the reason I chose it is it's actually the first RTS, not Command & Conquer or Dune 2. It's also a really good game, even if you don't like RTS games.
It's the first RTS?
It's half shoot 'em up.
First
that's
RTS,
what he says.
Really?
Yeah.
Really? Oh, right, okay.
He said, lastly, it's largely unknown and underrated.
Yeah.
So yeah, I got to be honest. When he suggested it, I felt a little bit intimidated by that choice, because I'm not an RTS player at all. I played Command & Conquer and I was awful at it. And the only other RTS game I think I played was a game called Zed with some funny robots on the PlayStation. I don't know. I was crap at it. So
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's what the show's about, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it is. I've had similarly limited experience with RTSs. I did have Command & Conquer on the Saturn. I did play it a fair bit, and I kind of got into it, but it's just generally not a genre that I've been drawn to particularly. But as you say, I think an RTS may well have come up sooner or later anyway. So just in the spirit of the show and trying new things, you know, and seeing how they work out. So yeah, it'll be an interesting experience.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I mean,
it's going to be awkward if we both hate it, though, isn't it?
It's going to be well awkward. Yeah.
Welcome to the show. Your game's crap. Never darken our door again. I think it's going to be great fun.
Yeah, it'll be interesting episode, definitely. But yeah, no, I'm really looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to meeting Vic, asking him all about the model.
It does mean you've lost your game pick again for another month.
Oh yeah,
though.
no, that's all right. Don't worry, I'll pick it up next time.
Yeah, we'll do yours next month, and then we'll potentially have another guest a bit further down the line. But we'll keep that under wraps for now.
Yeah,
and,
we'll work out scheduling for that.
Yeah, we've got to work out all those schedules and let you have a pick of the game on your own show as well, which is
that'd be nice. Yeah,
that'd be nice, wouldn't it?
Cool, no worries. I've got my pick in mind, but it can wait. It's fine.
Awesome.
Yeah, so we round up the show then.
Yeah. So
okay.
all the 3 games get all the 3 original ToeJam Earl games, I think, get a recommendation from us. The new one definitely does. I think it's both clear that we both thoroughly enjoyed it.
Yeah.
We've got our plan for next month. Herzog's Way. Zwei,
isn't it?
Zwei?
It's like Panzer Dragoon Zwei. I think it's 2 in German, is it?
Oh, is it? Oh,
I think so. Yeah. Because I was saying like Zwei, and then I heard someone say Zwei, and I think, like Heinz Zwei, dry. Yeah. I think it's German in 2. I might be completely wrong and making a fool of myself. But
is there a Herzog one?
I don't know. Actually, that's a good point. Maybe, I'll look that up.
Yeah.
If you want to tweet us, you can tweet us at Podemup. If you want to email us, you can email us podemup@gmail.com. Now we're on YouTube.
Yeah, nice one.
Yeah.
You've done that. I can't take any credit.
Yeah, I've been busily putting all our episodes on YouTube to kind of support the video content I'm going to put up for Back in the Groove. I think it might be something that I might, because I've discovered that I can on my computer I can record games really easily actually with this what's it called, GeForce Experience thing. So yeah, I might do a bit more recording of the games that we play and put them up. Why not? Yeah, with or without commentary, I'm not sure yet.
I was going to say, are you going to put any commentary over it, or are you going to
might do? I haven't done this time, but I'll see how it goes. I don't. With the thing, I'm always whenever I look up like a game on YouTube, I always if it's got commentary, and it's always like a really annoying person, isn't it? It's always someone who goes, "Hey, what's happening?
What's up, guys? YouTube, Don't forget to smash that like button."
I know they. Yeah, so I'm hesitant to do that, or at least if I do it in a different way. But I don't know. I haven't decided yet. But yeah, all the episodes are up there now. Give them a listen if you're a YouTube kind of person, because I feel some people don't listen to podcasts; they just have YouTube on all the time. So you never know. We might get a few more listeners / watchers.
It'd be interesting. I mean, I'm not against us putting some video content out there. Some producing some video stuff. But
a lot of podcasts do it as a kind of a companion.
Yeah, I was going to say it's a little companion piece.
Yeah. So yeah, that's my thinking for that really. Awesome. We're kind of working on a new website, aren't we?
Yes.
Which I need to put some graphics in for and do some jigging around with that. We'll probably announce that next time, hopefully. Not really ready for human consumption yet, but something that's in the works.
It'd just be a little sort of centralised place where you can find all the back episodes and stuff. I mean, you can obviously do that on your podcast apps as well, but I mean, if you just wanted to... say you wanted to link someone to one of our previous shows, you could just link them direct to the website and it would all be there for you with the show notes and everything, rather than telling someone to download a podcast app and then search through the back catalogue and stuff. It's just nice to have just a basic web presence. So
I'd like to do, when we've got a few more under the belt, I'd like to do a thing where you can kind of search by console as well, so you can have like a tab just for all the Mega Drive ones, and you can see all the episodes where we've done Mega Drive
that's
games
a good
and
idea,
things like that. Yeah, kind of tag them and that kind of thing, so you just search for things more easily.
Yeah, definitely.
I think more useful than when we've got more than 10 episodes, obviously. But something for the future, hopefully.
Yeah.
That's kind of all I can think of to say now, really.
Yeah, I think that takes care of pretty much everything. Yeah, okay, so we always say this, but we don't have we'll say it'll be next month, but we don't really have a set schedule for recording. It just tends to be one a month whenever we get the time to do it, so it's not like a particularly recording day, but it'll be sometime next month we'll be back. But yeah, any thoughts on Herzog Zwei?
Zwei, or indeed Herzog 1 if it exists.
Herzog? Sonic the Herzog.
Very good. I like it.
Don't patronise me. Right, yeah, so, That's it. Bye.
So we end the episode. That's it. Bye. Bye.